A new place, a new home, for a while, let me feel alive.
Good morning. It is Thursday now, and Wednesday was a tough day, but I did manage to go out. I got a Starbucks, I got some errands done, and sometimes I find that this is helpful for me too. If I'm having a day where I just don't want to do the work that I'm supposed to do, sometimes this is similar to the low energy tasks, but sometimes I can also take things in my personal life that have just been weighing me down, like in the back of my head, this thought that I need to get gas, I need to get cash for the babysitter for Friday night, like whatever it is. There's just things that need to get done that I just have been avoiding. So it's like, if I'm not going to do my work, then at least I can get these personal things done. The danger there, of course, is that we could spend our whole lives running those errands and doing those low energy tasks and never getting to our writing, because here it is Thursday and I have not written hardly at all. I've done a little bit of plot work. I've done a little bit of work on my plotting wall, but I haven't actually written words. And I had hoped to write at least 15,000 words this week. So if I'm going to get to that, the pressure is building now because as I started to look over my planner, I've got a video to make today. I've got several things. The course is launching this weekend. And now here I am still needing to write like 5,000 words a day to get where I want to go. That's probably not going to happen. And I have found probably over the last couple of years since I had Evie and I've been so much focused on my courses and YouTube and everything, that everything else seems easier and has less resistance than my writing. But deep down, I also know that I need to be writing. It's like my soul needs it and my career needs it. And so there's a constant kind of war within myself of like, I know I want to be doing this thing. And then each week goes by and it becomes more and more difficult. So I am not perfect. I'm doing the best I can, but because I am trying to make some changes, today I'm going to do what I can to get my work done this morning in terms of getting a new video up and getting things ready. And then I'm going to spend the rest of the day hopefully working on my book. And then I'm going to try to set aside the majority of tomorrow to work on my book. And we're going to see if we can get somewhere. And it's going to be one of those things where I'm telling myself, whether you feel like it or not, you got to get it done or it's just never going to get done. So that's kind of where I am right now. I did not plan again last night for today. So I'm going to sit down and do that now and hopefully have a really good day today.
Nothing to hold me back, take my time, just enjoy the ride. A new man passing by, life is good, best I've ever felt. Get me up, somewhere new, somewhere I can find myself. I feel so
So as you can see, here's the plan for the day. I have a couple of little errands to run. I'm going to focus on some of book 12 for the afternoon. I've got my video that needs to go up today, which I'm just going to do a little bit of a chat, I think, on mental health and productivity, which is really important. And then I'm going to work for a little bit, if I can, here before dinner on my June tracking for my 6 months for life journal. And then I've got HB90 planner that needs to get done. So my plan is to actually do that tonight in between gaming and do a 30-minute sprint working on a planner and then a 30-minute gaming sprint and so on for about 3 hours tonight. So I don't know for sure that I'll get through all 4 of these, but I'm certainly going to try. And that's another little tip that maybe you can carry for yourself as well, as like when you have a task that can be split up mentally, like this is not the same as my writing, although I do sometimes do my writing this way too. I will alternate sprints of things that are just purely for fun and things that are for work, because that gives me the motivation. Okay, if I get this much done on my work, then I can play for 30 minutes, then, and I keep that timer going. I do also want to just share with you that, this week I had high hopes. I thought 102, I'm going to try to get at least 84 task blocks done this week and get all this stuff done. And there's no way I'm going to hit that because I'm not even hitting 10 a day on average. So Monday was 9. I used 10 on Tuesday and I used 8 on Wednesday. And so I'm going to flip the camera around and kind of talk to you about that a little bit. So here we are on Thursday, and I really only have worked so far less than 30 task blocks, and I was hoping to get at least to 84. So that means either I'm going to have a really good Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or it's going to be a little bit falling short of my goal. And I think that for me, part of what I have learned over the years of using this system is to just continue to move myself forward, baby step by baby step, and to let it go if I don't finish everything, because I almost never finish it all. And it would be really interesting to try a week where I plan really, really slim and then get it all done and then see what comes up next. But for me, I think sometimes my brain feels like there's so much to do and it has to all get done now, that it's comforting for me on Sundays to plan as if I'm going to get it all done. And then throughout the week, I just go easy on myself when it doesn't. But it would be interesting to see if I planned like only 40 task blocks for the week, how I would follow through. Would I get more done or would I be lazier? I'm not sure. Sometimes putting so much on my plate actually causes me to work extra. And then I just can easily at this point let go of the things that don't get done, because I know that I was doing the best I could with the day that I was having. But I know that for some of you that are watching, if you don't finish everything, you feel like a failure and you really beat yourself up. So I think that one of the keys to productivity and using any kind of system, whether it's, getting things done system or, my HB90 or anything that you're using that you created yourself, part of the key is really understanding your own response to things and trying to work within the bounds of that, and then slowly change your own mindset and your own energy around the things that aren't getting done, because what works for me may not work perfectly for you. And that's one of the things I love about HB90 is that you make the plan, you create the plan. I'm just giving you the tools of how to put hopefully a realistic amount of work on your plate, and then you follow through. But you don't have to put this much on your plate. You don't have to over plan. And in fact, I really encourage you to under plan and give yourself a lot of buffer. It's just sometimes I don't always practice what I preach because there is a lot on my shoulders right now. And I feel like it comforts me to allow some part of me to think that I am going to get it all done. So I still have a lot of work to do on myself as well, even following this plan. And every quarter I get a little bit better, and every quarter I move a little bit more ahead. And I think that is, an important process to be following, is like continuing to forgive myself, continuing to try to get better at my planning, and to give myself more free time. And that's always the goal. So, all right. So today I have 16 task blocks available. It would be awesome to get 16 task blocks in today. So I'm feeling good. I'm going to try to make the most of it. And here we go. I'm going to start off my day by recording a video.
Passing by, life is good, best I've ever felt.
Quick update. Today is going very well so far. I already sat down and recorded my video, and I have it edited, and it's currently being uploaded. And thank God that I now have a full-time operations manager, because she is filling out all the details and getting the video and the newsletter and everything ready, which is so helpful. So very grateful for Renee. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on my book for the next couple of hours. My husband is going to help me by talking through some of the plot stuff, and we're going to work on my plot wall, which I'm excited about. But let me show you my planner. So earlier when I showed it to you, I didn't have the time estimates on here, but I do try to set the project up for the day. Here's the thing I'm doing. And then I try to estimate about how long I think it will take me to complete. And then down here in this block, this is where I say how long it actually took me. So the video I estimated at 4 task blocks, and 1, 2, 3, 4, it actually did take me 4 task blocks. So that was great. It's done. And now I've got 5 task blocks this afternoon to sit and work on my plotting wall. And then if I have a little bit of time before dinner, I'll work on the tracking. And then tonight I'll work on the planner. So it's going so well so far today. I have not made any posts on social media, but I will once my video goes up. So progress, making the most out of a day where I feel good. Okay, plotting wall progress. I actually got some work done on my book today. I figured out 2 more things that had been really holding me back. So I am feeling good. I still have a lot of plotting wall to fill out, a lot of things to still decide. But you know what? I keep telling myself, this is the end. This is like book 17 in this like world, book 12 in the series. And then there's 5 kind of like spin-off books and stuff like that. And there's a lot that needs to come together. So I just need to take my time and really think it through. And I'm going to celebrate every single twist and moment and scene that comes together. And so it feels really good. I spent 5 task blocks doing that. So I'm going to go mark that in my planner. And then I have about an hour before I need to start getting dinner ready. So I am going to work on some of the other things I had in my planner today, which is my June tracking and also working on the planner for HB90. So I'm going to work on that right now. Actually, as I am walking into my office to make that change in my planner, just wanted to say another reason why I feel like HB90 keeps me going is that I don't have to finish a project and then spend time going, well, what should I do? I've got like 20 things that I could be doing, blah, blah, blah. Because I feel like sometimes there's that analysis paralysis of what's going to be the next best step for me? What's the next thing I should be doing? But with this type of system, there's so much task clarity for me. Like I already know exactly what I'm doing this quarter and I don't have to add anything to that. And then all I have to do each week is choose tasks from this board and say, this is what I'm getting done. So I already have a plan made that I set up this morning that I know exactly what I'm going to do. And I already told you about ways that if that plan wasn't going according to how I wanted it, I've got other things that I can pull from this board and get done. So there's never really, well, I shouldn't say never, but there's less of those days where I get something done and then I go, oh, I don't know what to do next. And then I spend all this time kind of trying to decide and analyze what's the next best step. And then before I know it, the whole day is gone and I got nothing else done. So having that clarity of being able to say, yes, I finished this. Now I know exactly what's next on my plate, especially on these days where I'm feeling good and I'm excited for the work, is gold because I don't waste any time trying to figure it out. Hey guys, so it is time for dinner. It's 5 p.m. So I am taking my work phone and putting it in the charger in my closet, on the charger in my closet, so that I am not tempted to go through Instagram or other comments or things like that tonight. I just spent 2 task blocks working on my 6 months for life journal, which was on my plan for today, and just doing some kind of admin stuff. You can maybe hear my printer going. I just had to buy a brand new printer, which is a topic for a whole nother video, but I feel really good about everything I got done today. I still have a few task blocks left, and I'm going to be doing that tonight with alternating my gaming time and working on my HB90 planner. And I also am going to get to spend a few hours with the kids, and the weather is really nice. So we're probably going to go outside and play for a bit and eat dinner and hang out, and it's going to be awesome. So just to kind of talk through that aspect of it a little bit, my husband does not work a traditional job and hasn't for years. He just is helping with the family, and he also designs games for Roblox. And so he is around and able to support me, which allows me to do a lot more than maybe some other mamas who have their kids home full time. But we do homeschool Andrew. School is almost over. We have a couple more weeks of that. And Evie is 2.5. And so we kind of tag team. And sometimes that does affect my productivity as well. If George has a migraine or he has to step outside to do some yard work or something like that, then I am the one who steps in. And so sometimes that affects me as well. So when I am needed with the kids, or I just really want to spend some time with them, or I want to snuggle, or I want to help Andrew with a test he's got coming up, then I just take whatever's on my schedule and I either add it to my evening work, which is a little bit of a sacrifice that I make sometimes to work in the evenings because I spent some of the day with my kids, or I just move something to later in the week and just don't stress if it doesn't get done, because in my opinion, for my life, it's so much more important to take a break and spend that time with them, as long as I'm getting the deadline type stuff done. But it's always a balance, and I'm always doing the best I can to be a stay-at-home mom. But I do appreciate the fact that I get to spend that time with them, and I'm always, even if you don't see it on camera, taking, bits and pieces of my day all day to snuggle Evie, to help her with a potty break, or to help Andrew with his homework, or, whatever. So that's another thing that I'm kind of balancing throughout the day. So that's one of the reasons task blocks works for me, because my task blocks by definition are 30-minute chunks of time. So if I can actually finish a piece of a project in 20 minutes, then I can go hang out with them for 10 and still have gotten a good amount done, and I can still count it as a task block. And I just really enjoy that aspect of of planning. So I am mostly done for the day, and I will probably just take a minute to plan out what I'm doing for Thursday or for Friday, and my day is mostly done. So I will check in with you guys in the morning. Another space that needs to be cleaned. I also have I have blinds in here, but then there's the windows at the top, and so I've got a lot of sunshine in here, so it makes it harder to record, but hopefully you can see this. So I did go through last night before I went to bed and just marked down all of the time that I spent. So last night I ended up doing some gaming, and I finished the A5 planner and the A5 weekly planner. I finished my June tracking for 6 months for life. So I pretty much got almost everything done yesterday. And it was the first day that I said I had 16 task blocks available, and I actually used 15 of them. So that was my most successful day so far. So I did go through and come back over here and started filling in to make sure that I was keeping track. So I've done 11 task blocks on my book though so far, which is less than half of what I intended. So I'm going to catch up on that some this weekend. And then I've got more HB90 prep, but I probably overestimated how much time I'm going to need for that. I finished the A+ content in 3 instead of 4. So like a lot of this is done. And then there's a chunk of things here that are getting done this weekend. So overall, even though I've had several days where I worked way less than I intended, I do actually have a lot of things done that I intended to do. The biggest things on the list still are finishing up the planner and getting everything ready for the course to open on Sunday, and then getting my writing done. And those are kind of the biggest things. But we're just moved into a new house just a couple months ago. And so we're trying to get doctors and dentists and everything else. And our dentist that we were planning to go to had a last minute cancellation. So they're going to bring both kids in today. So that means that I do not have as much time today. So it gives me an opportunity to share with you that if you had your plan all created and then something comes up like an unexpected doctor's appointment or an illness or a migraine or anything, the best tip that I have is to just try not to let it stress you out, and to understand that you can always make that time up later, and to do your best to try to figure out where you're going to get other stuff done. So the first thing that I do is I had this plan for what I was going to do today. Luckily, I had not filled out my planner yet, but if I had, I would just white things out and it would be fine. But I just went ahead and I had a few other things I was going to work on today. And I just said, what are my priorities now that this other thing is going to take up a couple of hours of my day? And I created new priorities for the day, and I'm just going to let the rest of it go. So this is why in the HB90 system, we work in what I call buffer time, because if you schedule yourself like every day, all time, like you don't give yourself any days off in the quarter, like if you think I'm planning for 90 days and then you plan 90 days worth of work, you're inevitably going to fall behind and not get it all done. So pardon my hair. You guys are seeing every look this week, but I have worked with over 2,000 students in this HB90 class now. And one of the things that comes up over and over and over again is that most people come into the course trying to figure out how to get more done. And when they go through this system and through this process, it's usually a huge eye opener for people, because what they start to understand is that, you've got, say, 90 days to work with. And when they really look at the time they have available and the tasks they were trying to squeeze into those 90 days, they realize they were really trying to plan an entire year's worth of work in 90 days, like 500 days worth of work in 90 days. And then when they didn't follow through, they felt like crap. And they said, they blamed it on their own work ethic or how lazy they are. Why can't I get this done? But the truth is they were planning an impossible amount of tasks in a short period of time. And so when you plan like this, you may still fall short. You may still overplan. That's what I do, just because my brain is like, I can do it. And I'm still learning, and I'm still healing from that whole hustle culture to a degree. But it's so much more realistic of a plan than I used to. And one of the reasons is because I take my time into consideration before I make my plan. Instead of just throwing everything I think I need to do onto my plan, I look at my time first, and then I try to plan only what I can get done in the available time. And then I also take buffer days. And this is one of the biggest life-changing things that you can do for yourself and your productivity is to, if you're looking at a 90-day period, you got to take those vacations that you know you're taking. If you don't want to work on Saturdays, you got to subtract those days from the 90 days. If you know there's going to be dentist appointments and doctor appointments and illnesses and days where you have migraines or you struggle with some kind of like mental health issues, like I was just talking about in last week's video. If you know these things come up for you and they steal your time away, it's so much more realistic to plan with those things in mind and create that buffer time than to plan to just stack it all. And like, I've got to be the most perfect person who never has a single day off. It's just unrealistic. And that's why we're all getting so burned out. So hopefully today will be one of those days where the buffer time that I have built into my schedule overall, like not just for this week, I didn't really plan buffer time for this week specifically, but the buffer time is for the entire quarter, so that I can have a day like this where I'm going to go on an extra appointment and not really lose ground for the whole quarter, overall. So hopefully that makes sense. And now I'm going to get to work a little bit on the HB90 letter size planner before I head out to take the kids to the dentist. This will be Evie's very first trip ever, and it's exciting. Hey guys, Friday afternoon. I have finished my coffee chat and now it is 6 o'clock. And so I worked a little bit late today, but I did get 2,500 words about written on my story. So let's go to the planner. Okay, I did not get the return done, but I did send out the Oracle cards. I did call about my mortgage payment, and I did my coffee chat. So that got done, and it did take 3. So I'm going to put 1, 2, 3 here. And then I did not do the sales page and the prep emails, but my assistant did that. Renee did that. So I did my letter and my letter weekly, and that is done. So I'm going to write HB90 planner, and that took about 2 task blocks there. And I did not do anything in my witchy writing room, but I did get quite a bit of stuff done today, and that feels really good. I also got this part done, and that took 3. So 1, 2, 3. So that is a really productive day. I feel really good about it. Maybe we'll do a little bit of hanging of my shelves tonight and some gaming stuff, and I'll double check this stuff that Renee did. And then I'll have basically just my writing and a last few minute things to do for Saturday and Sunday. And it's looking like a really productive week so far. Now, in terms of my Kanban board, I do try to move things when they get done. So I did coffee chat number 8 of the quarter. And even though I didn't write all of these words today, I am hitting this milestone here. Then over here, I finished the Q3 letter. So now tomorrow I'll need to work on the Monday start planners, and that's almost done. Renee did this. These 2 things will be getting done. This podcast, we're going to be adding an HB90 podcast, not publicly, but just for alumni of the course. That's probably going to get moved to next week. So I'm just going to move it back to the to-do section. And then over here, it doesn't look like anything got done. Oh no, this actually did get done here. So we are looking pretty good overall for the week. Good morning, everybody. So it is Saturday, and I have to return something to Amazon, which means I need to go to the UPS store. And I thought maybe I could get a Starbucks treat when I do that. And I sat down and planned this last night, that I want to record the notebook challenge here this morning, and then we'll get lunch. And then I think I'm going to go out to write at a cafe so that I can get a little bit of work done. And since I have to go return this stuff anyway, that'll be kind of a fun Saturday thing to do. Then I'm going to do some final things for HB90 launch tomorrow. And then we have a babysitter coming, and we've got a date night tonight. And we'll probably be talking quite a bit about book 12, which is something that's, I know it sounds cheesy, but it's just really fun for us to talk through this stuff. So I'll be taking all my index cards and stuff with me. And I do have, if you remember at the beginning of the week, I had started this little post-it note of things to get done. I sent the Oracle cards giveaway, and I bought a new printer, and then I still have this card to do. So I'm going to try to get that done today. And that should be about it. Like I have mentioned before, I don't always like to work on Saturdays. I'm trying to get to a point where I am not doing any work on Saturdays, but honestly, all of this kind of stuff, like recording the notebook challenge and getting to play with my notebooks and doing the book stuff, like writing, doesn't really feel like work, but I would like to have, you know, full day off. But this is a little bit of a different week because of the launch. And so it's just a little bit busier than normal. But normally I would be taking most of Saturday off and most of Sunday off, if not all of it. So that's kind of just a personal choice. But I still have a few things on this list. So the get to 185 pounds is something that's just going to sit there until it happens. And I'm still like 2 pounds away from that. So it's not probably likely to happen. And I've got my steps I've been tracking this week. So that'll get moved down tomorrow. I am trying to read more books. So I have several books. I had hoped to read at least 5 nonfiction books this quarter, and I'm almost done with book 2. So I've got 1 hour left to listen to that on Audible. I'm listening to Atomic Habits by James Clear, and so that's almost done as well. So maybe I'll move that down. But the story and gaming journal is not going to get done probably this week. So I'm just going to go ahead and move that back up to the doing section. Open cart happens tomorrow, and the Monday planner I'm getting done today. So that'll be cleared. And then over here, I'm not going to be emailing my cover artist this week. I'll do that next week. I am going to sit down right now before I record the notebook challenge and do this marketing brainstorm. And then this backlist audit got started but not finished. So I'm going to leave it here because it is begun, but it's just not completely done. But overall, I'm feeling really good about this week. I just really want to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and move this 10,000 words down since I hit the 5,000. Now it's time for the 10,000. And actually, because I hit that 5,000 down here in this little drawer, I have all these Tokidoki Hello Kitty things and treats that I've been holding, and I can't open them until I hit the 5,000 words. So I'm actually going to get to open this today, which will be fun. I'll do that with Evie in a little bit. And now I'm heading toward the next 5,000 words. So overall, a good week. Okay, just a quick update. The babysitter will be here in about 20 minutes, and I did 3 sprints instead of 4, and I finished the HB90 planner, went over everything that needs to be set up for tomorrow. I recorded the HB notebook challenge, and it is still a mess on my desk, so I'll leave that for tomorrow. And what else did I do? That's basically it. I still need to take back that Amazon return, which didn't get done. So we're going to drop that off on our way out to dinner. Also spent some time with the kids outside and played a little bit of EverQuest 2. And it's just been a really good day. So I'm looking forward to hopefully having a really fun night out. And then tomorrow will be the final day of the week where I will reset everything, replan, and leave you with my final thoughts for the week.
I find my way, my way, my way, my way, my way, my way. 'Cause I find my